Hi everybody, today I'm sharing this layout with my grandson reading to his younger brother, and I'm flipping those papers over so that you could see that they truly are Christmas patterned papers. The reason I did that was because I did this layout for a weekend online crop that we did at the end of January on the Crafty Maven destination getaway, and I'll tell you later on how to get there when I have some spare space in the video. So I'm starting out with that plaid paper, which is October Afternoon Under the Tree. It's called Family Gathering, and that's going to act as a border for my layout. I'm actually going to cut that paper because I don't have very much of this collection left, and it'll be a good paper to join the pieces that I have left would be the best way to describe it. Plus, I think it's a great masculine paper. And boy, do I miss October Afternoon. Anyway, then on top of that, I put that letter paper from October Afternoon Silent Night. It's called Carol of the Bells, and it's kind of a cream color with green lettering on it. And if you look at the lettering, you can find words in there, Christmas words, like with the piece that I have exposed on the bottom right now. It says Christmas, and there's other Christmas words in here that I don't remember what they were, but definitely they exist. So it's definitely there. The challenge of this layout was to take a collection that was not a Christmas collection, or to take a collection that was a Christmas collection and use it on a non-Christmas layout. So you'll see that my papers really are all from the Christmas collections, and then I just used other things around it to embellish it on top of that. So that's where the challenge, where I met the challenge, or how I met the challenge. And when I posted this, somebody said, "Are those really Christmas papers?" And I said, yes. If you look closely now, I have that blue paper right there, and it actually has stars and little white dots. So I think like stars and snowflakes was the idea behind that paper. That star snowflake paper is October Afternoon Under the Tree Cookie Nibbling. And then I'm going to mount my photo on that triangle paper. That's also under the tree, and it's called Gift Giving. And one of the things I'm doing here to bring all the papers together is I'm inking the edges of all of these papers with my Tim Holtz vintage photo ink. All right, so now I'm just getting that piece cut, and I was thinking at first when I did this, I was thinking that I was going to just use it like across the cream letter paper block, but once I put it down, I really liked how it extended across from edge to edge, and I left that there. I was also just making sure that I liked the size of it. And there's my candy cane, so you know that I really am using a Christmas paper. I'm using the letters on this page to actually line this up, which is really lovely. All right, so now I have the main background of the layout done. Now, I wanted to use that die cut in here for sure. That stack of books came from the L Studio Reed wood veneers. You can get those on their website. And I've had those for a while because I knew I wanted to do a layout about my own reading, and then I saw this one of my grandson reading to his little brother and decided I definitely needed to use some of those there. I'm using two pieces there, the library card and then that bookworm little journaling spot there from October Afternoon Public Library, which is I think about 2 years old, the doodads pieces of that. So October Afternoon Public Library. And then I went back to those Reed wood veneers, and I found that little circle that says I Heart Books. Now that's not going to stay there. I'm going to fuss around with the two top clusters, a cluster to the left where the I Heart Books is right now, and then the cluster to the right where I have that little banner. And I'm going to add in this globe That globe sticker is from October Afternoon Travel Girl. It's from the Shape Stickers. I'm going to play around with these a little bit because the little date label that I have there is just not working for me. It feels like there's too much roundness up there with a lot of long rectangles is the best way to describe what I'm seeing. I did try to use this little speech bubble for a while, and that came from one of the I'm umming a lot today, sorry. That came from one of the fall collections, but I'm going to take that out eventually as well. So now I put the circle back up with the other circle and decided maybe I need to do a circle thing and get that banner down there where it's a little bit more rectangular. And that's where those two are going to end up. I'm still going to change those clusters a little bit, but at least now they're in the places that they're going to be. And I have quite a few of these little doodad and I can't remember what they call it, snap caps. I have quite a few of those, so I'm going to be just going back and forth with those quite a bit, trying to figure out what to do with that. That snap cap I have right there with the date on it is from the October Afternoon Daily Flash All Boy Collection. It's the snap caps. And I'm going to come back to that. Okay, and then I find that aqua date circle there, and I don't think that's 9 to 5. I don't know where that one came from, and I didn't write it down and I couldn't find it. So I'm not quite sure where that came from. The tab there that I just put on the top next to the banner is from October Afternoon 9 to 5, the tidbits. That's what else they call. They call them snap cap, tidbits, and doodads. That's what all these little pieces come from in their collections. And I just loved these. I'm going to be sad when I don't have any more October Afternoon paper left. I don't hoard it, but I think part of the thing is because it's no longer around, I don't use it quite as often because it just doesn't come to mind. I'm not constantly refreshing it with new collections like we used to do. I am going to need to change that tab a little bit because it's sticking out a little bit too far there. So I'll play with that and get that taken care of in just a little. All right, and now I just need to ink the edges from all of the pieces I'm using. And now here's where I'm shortening up the tab there. I just cut it shorter so that it would sit under the banner in a way that was a little bit more pleasing to me. And I'm looking at that, and it does feel, that cluster up there does feel a little bit incomplete, so I'll have to figure that out eventually as well, and I will. The one thing I do like about these October Afternoon pieces as well too is if you flip them over, they're more plain. So with that bookworm journaling spot there, if I flip that over, the worm wasn't on there and it didn't say bookworm. So you could have just used it as in another layout. It didn't have to be reading centered before you did that. And I am thinking when I'm doing this at first that I'm going to journal on the library card there, but in the end I actually decide not to do that and just journal only on the little bookworm circle there. I didn't have a lot to say other than really basically I loved how he was sharing his love of reading with his little brother, and I love how his little brother is looking up at him. He's so cute. He's about in this photograph, his little brother's like 2 months old. He's such a good big brother to him. His little brother, though, very shortly will be a year old, and I can't believe it, how time flies. Now I decided I do want to get a title on this, and I'm going through all of my October mini markets because I know I want my title to be Sharing the Love, and I'm going to do the sharing the in the mini markets. And so to begin with, I'm thinking that I'm going to do them like in some sort of teal or aqua color, but I figured out fairly quickly that, and maybe a green color as well too, that the aqua won't work, that I'm going to have to do some sort of green because the aqua just is not going to show up very well on the star paper. So I have my two sort of possibilities there out, and now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for an alphabet. And I'm thinking that I really want to do this chipboard alphabet in this really dark aqua teal color, but I discovered that I don't have the right letters for it. And you can see what a mess they are. They've fallen off the sheet. Well, what's happened is they fell off the sheet, but they also stuck to each other. So there's all sorts of little white spots on the letters where the chipboard color has come off. So what I ended up doing, frankly, is I ended up tossing the rest of that pack. It was just so frustrating, and I've used it before on a layout where it kind of looked distressed, but it just to me was starting to look like it wasn't distressed. It just looked bad. So I just tossed it. And you know, what a shame that I didn't use that a couple of years ago when I bought it, so that wouldn't have happened. But that is life and lesson learned, I guess. It was one of those things that it was no longer making me happy, so it was time to get rid of it. All right, so I'm going to give up on the idea that I want to use the aqua colored letters, and I'm going to this Dear Lizzie foam letter alphabet. It's from one of her first collections. It was from her Christmas collection, and that collection is called Mary. And I bought quite a few packs of those because it's like the perfect green to use on Christmas layouts. So when it was out and about, or when I could find it, even later on, I did use it. I am going to experiment a little bit with using that cream colored mini market letter sheet from, I think it was from Rocket Age, if I remember correctly. I'm going to put the word sharing up there, and I want to do that to see how it looks. Well, when I put it up there, I realized that's really, really standing out on the background, and my focus is going there instead of to the photograph. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to these green letters. Those are the mini market letters from Woodland Park. It's the mint and cream alphabet. And I'm liking that much, much better, that it's doesn't feel like it's just calling all of its attention. And I'm using my wax paper here because it's really nice to be able to audition where you're going to put whatever your title letters are with the wax paper. And I'm obviously using my tweezers. I couldn't think of the name of that. Using my tweezers here. And I'm liking the way that all looks now. All right. And it's just going to take me a minute to get these letters on. But loving the way that's coming out now. And I'm still thinking about that cluster on the top left. I haven't forgotten about that cluster, that I'm not loving it. See, and there I looked and I'm like, well, is that the right thing? And I'm thinking, no, that's not the right thing. And here's where I go back to those snap caps, the all boy snap caps, the Daily Flash. And what I'm going to do is I'm auditioning a couple of little things, but what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up just turning that little circle upside down. And I'm looking just to see if there's anything else. And the answer to that is no. I'm kind of playing with a couple of other ideas here, just to see if that works. I did like the fact that it said, I liked the pattern on this, but it said date on it, on the front of it, so that didn't work so well. If it hadn't said date, I would have definitely used it, the front side of it. So instead, I just have a little bit of a aqua colored circle there. All right, so that is basically the layout. Now I'm just going to get the date on the date circle there. I'm putting the boys' names on the tab, and then I'm going to do just a little bit of journaling about how much I love that my older grandson is sharing his love of reading with my younger grandson. There'll be a couple of a detail shot and a couple of still shots. Hope you are all well. Take care. Bye.